Greetings, dear suckers. My name's Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And welcome back to Disco Elysium, at last. That's right, I finally have a functioning computer again. Been through some, unfortunate stuff. I mean, first Disco Elysium stopped functioning, and then it was a whole mess. But I'm back now. At last. I did, unfortunately, lose a bit of my saves from this game because of reasons. But don't have to go back that far. Should be pretty easy to just redo everything. Oh, speaking of which, since we're here, I might as well actually bother to, you know, examine the bullet. I don't know why I just kind of forgot to do this. And I might as well do it while I've got Kim with me.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
Okay then. What do I do with you, Bullet?
What?
The lieutenant steps closer. I said, what do I do with you, Bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me.
Don't worry, I don't think that you're the Bullet, Kim. But good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim.
Quite so.
In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag.
Well, of course it feels cold. Its jacket is split open. That would make anyone feel cold, especially in this weather.
You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
Interesting. So we have jacketed bullets in the setting. In fact, we've had them for a while, at least since the Revolution. But the Citizens Militia still uses muzzle loaders. That's... That sounds like the technological development of this place has been retarded somehow. Interesting. Alright, inspect the bullet closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
The jacketed bullet, close to 5 millimeters in diameter. Wow, I actually know this.
Yes, it's as if you've seen bullets before, officer.
Imagine that.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Yeah. It's as if the technology of this world has gone backwards. As if the Luddites had won. Disturbing.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Quite so.
Something tells you that won't be anytime soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
Ha. Hand-eye coordination. Try to determine what type of bullet shot this. Wait a tick. Shouldn't that be encyclopedia? Yeah, we're trying to match this bullet to our knowledge of firearms to figure out what shot it. That's like a textbook encyclopedia check. What the fuck?
A rifle, Revolutionary
Sweet.
period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46mm from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique, or a retrofitted antique.
Make?
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
Quite. Is anyone still making these rifles?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Good enough for government work and all that. Who uses Bell-McGrave rifles these days? Was it McGrav? Who uses Bell-McGrav rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
Yes, this is in fact a bullet. I think I know where this came from. Dangle the bag thoughtfully.
Okay. And?
The shot probably came from a Bell-McGrav rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Ravachol, really.
Why not?
Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen.
Ah, interesting. So the monarchy are responsible for not just retarding, but regressing the technology. And Moralist International just sort of inherited those laws. Interesting. And yet they were used back in the anti-centennial revolution. And that is very interesting. Yes, I'm putting the pieces together here now. The prohibition on breech loaders was an attempt to prevent that very revolution, wasn't it? The monarchy wanted to prevent these powerful breech loader firearms, for a given value of powerful, from being in the hands of potential revolutionaries, so they banned them, in the process retarding the growth of technology, or as I said, outright regressing it. But it didn't work, because they got their hands on the breech loaders anyway. The question is, do the Moralist International share those motives of trying to curtail revolutionaries? Or are they just inheriting those laws without really critically examining them? I really couldn't say. I don't know much about Moralist International. I don't know much about anything, really. But I know a lot about firearms, that's for sure. Isn't that funny? The monarchy tried to, well, cut off their nose to spite their face. Destroy their technological growth just to stop, well, a revolution that arrived anyway. And now its original purpose may very well be entirely lost, but it's still here. So, yeah, either way, I mean, it's either lost purpose or cutting off your nose to spite your face. Pick your poison, I guess. The laws sure have been effective, though, but effective to what purpose?
Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzleloaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons. but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Worth it. I'll bet. But worth it for who?
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Worth what? Getting shot?
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Yeah. That's certainly a very pretty justification, Kim. A very pretty excuse. Oh well. Yeah, back to the investigation. We're not here to debate policy, we're here to catch a criminal. Seems we're looking for an antiques enthusiast. Could the victim have been mixed up with some foreign guerrilla fighters? Have well-armed jamrock bangers started crossing over into Martinez? Yes, something mysterious is afoot with this antique bullet type. I mean, if we're talking breech loaders like the ones used in the anti-centennial revolution, well, who would be most likely to have one of those in working order? Sure, they could have raided some weapons cache or what have you and hoped that one of them would be still working, but that's a gamble of long odds. On the other hand, one that was kept in working order deliberately over those, what was it, 50 years? Yeah. Maybe. Are you pondering what I'm pondering, audience? Because I'm thinking that not all the revolutionaries... I mean, most of them would be dead by now. Most. But if that person joined the revolution as a spry young man, well... it's an idea. After all, the revolutionaries were, by and large, communists, weren't they? Think so, anyway. And what was it that the guy said? Communism killed him? Yes, I'm thinking maybe that has more to it than you might think at first glance. But that's not any of the options, so I'll just say something mysterious is afoot.
Mysterious? Okay. Either way, we'll know when we find the gun.
One can only hope. The bullet has nothing more to say. Put it away. Alright. That was very illuminating. Alright, now I'll just quickly go over and redo everything, and then come back either when I've finished with all that, or if something has changed due to me examining that bullet. Something like that, anyway. Be back in 5 seconds.
No, I don't know. His friends have rifles. Maybe those psychos did it. Coalition military have rifles. I'm not a munitions expert, and I did not shoot him.
Okay, that was slightly different. Say, like, the bullet in his head, it was jacketed, military grade. Who else here has a military rifle? Huh?
She might have been a tad disingenuous when she avoided talking about the bullet in his head before.
No, really? Her being disingenuous? Perish the thought.
Look who's waking up from 1,000 years of sleep.
You've lied to me about this bullet before, when I said he was shot. You said you're confused.
I've said I'm sorry. What more do you want me to say? I did my best not to lie. It didn't always work.
Okay, that didn't do much, but I think I got an extra 5 XP from that. Maybe. I don't know, it's been like a couple weeks. Oh, hey, got an extra +1. Clearly lied about the bullet. Good shit. Okay, we're back. I'm fairly certain I did everything the same, aside from maybe doing a couple things in a different order. And I've also got a skill point because I think I was like, yeah, just a little under that, and I got some extra XP from the bullet, and I think from that one from that one bit of the discussion, never mind. Point is, we're back. And better than ever. Okay. Now what? What were we doing? Oh, right. I should probably talk to this bozo. Let's talk to this bozo. See if he has anything interesting to say for once.
Just dragged her away, huh? Stone cold. Didn't think you had it in you.
I didn't have what in me? To arrest her?
Yeah, you ruthless son of a bitch. I certainly didn't have it in me. I always let the pretty ones go. I'm soft like that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're plenty soft.
Yeah, like when we let old Clancy's widow walk.
Oh, Denise, the diner girl. The milk rack on that one.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. You let a few of them go, but that's nothing new. Every now and then, a little victim's spared, because she smiled, because he's got freckles, because they begged. And that's how you live with yourself. Because once in a while, on a whim, if the wind's in the right direction, you happen to be kind.
Can't say I wasn't sad to see her go. Our Clausia there. Her face when your friend walked her out. Goddamn.
He shakes his head. Hold up, her face. What did it look like?
Like she was walking to the gallows.
He avoided looking her straight in the eye. You would have too.
You underestimate my volition. 1/3 of humanity will be cold, and you're worried about what? About a single Iambe? Excuse me? What the fuck's that supposed to mean? No, I get the 1/3 of humanity will be cold. That's the whole apocalypse thing. Although, if only 1/3 of them are cold, I guess that's still a pretty devastating apocalypse. But Iambe? As in Iambus? Which is to say iambic poetry? Or iambic pentameter? Or Iambe, the woman from Greek mythology who supposedly gave the name to iambic poetry? What an odd thing to say. And that's leaving aside the fact that just because the world is going to end doesn't mean that you shouldn't be worried about individual people. That's nonsense. I mean, sure, there's an argument to be made that you shouldn't put their lives over 1/3 of humanity and all that, but that's not what he's doing. You can show concern for a person without negating your concern for everyone else. Anyway. Oh my god, she had a sad face? I'm so sorry I made her sad. I genuinely don't know if that's sarcastic or not. It could easily go either way. Just like Harry. Anyway. Fuck with the Sunboy, point to yourself. Get burnt. Fuck yeah.
God damn you, Sunboy. I guess there's nothing to do about it now. I just hope she can game her way through the system and come out the other way.
Fuck with the Sunboy, get burnt. That's a damn good line. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's a damn good line. Game her way through the system, huh? Yeah. Sadly, that does seem rather likely. Well, that's odd. It's not following my cursor. Weird. Anyway. If anyone could weasel her way out of all this shit, I'd certainly expect it to be her. Ugh. Oh well, I've done what I can.
Don't think I forgot how I specifically let you know how I felt about her arrest either. Now, what do you want?
Oh, don't worry. I didn't forget. It certainly played a part in my decision.
His tone is friendly now, and the last words are actually accompanied with a little smile.
Is that right? Interesting. So after all of this hardball shit, now, after I've just sent his friend to jail, now he's suddenly friendly with me. That's an interesting turnaround. But you know, I can kind of see it. I think I see why. It's for the same reason I'm a lot more cheerful after all that, because sure, it may not have turned out the way he would have wanted. I don't think anyone really got what they wanted here, to be honest. But it was such a goddamn clusterfuck that even though it may have turned out for the worse, at least it's over. At least we don't have to deal with that shit anymore, you know? Well, maybe you don't, but I certainly do. I can empathize. Don't cry because it happened, smile because it's over, and all of that. Anyway. Okay, I talked to Claude. Now I need to talk to Ruby. Because, nope, it's not actually over.
Why?
He leans back and regards you with curiosity. Look, I need to pin this on someone, and I've decided to pin this on her. I have seen her in a laudanum-induced delirium. The paranormal instinct whispers her name into my ear. No, that's obviously not true. I haven't had any laudanum in ages. I suspect she killed the victim. That's why she's a suspect in another case I'm investigating. Because she's your real leader. I'm going to level with you. She's the next link in the chain that leads me to the mercenary's killer. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I don't actually believe that she did it, but I'm following any lead I can find, really, because I think that eventually all of this will lead me to the killer. If I just keep pushing everywhere. Hopefully.
Sounds like you're making her a suspect in this. Not on my watch, you're not.
Not true. I didn't make her a suspect in this. Claude made her a suspect in this.
Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. Fuck that shit.
And fuck you too, moral
He throws a glance at Titus as the last syllable leaves his lips. The big guy sighs. She is missing, and if you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. That's how it works, guys.
That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound theory. I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could fuck off now?
Not try and don't want to be rude. That's the funniest thing you said all day. Okay. Logic, impossible, 18. Present a solid theory about why Ruby could have done it. I mean, I didn't realize impossible meant 72% chance of success, but alright. Let's go for it. Wait, does that mean that the shot being from the roof is also impossible? Because that was 72% as well. Aha! I'm on to you, game. I knew it! I knew it! It's clearly a sniper from B Triple Prime, an elderly sniper from the Revolution who shot him for reasons. Yeah, I'm kind of fuzzy on that part. But still, I knew it.
A sudden flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostel cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze. Floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought.
Why are you so sure Ruby didn't off him?
Because she was here, all night, with us.
He's cobbling together shit so he can put her away. It's Cop 101.
Is that right? She didn't go to the toilet?
No.
That's a lie.
No shit. In more ways than one.
The window Clausia gave for the time of death was from 11:30 to 12:15.
You know damn well that's not the case, Titus.
All right. She took a fucking leak, okay? For one moment. Maybe went out, too. She has a complex operation to run from her lorry. She's a busy girl. Always has been.
Could this complex operation be the one Joyce asked you to look into? Probably, though they'll never open up about it. You'll have to keep investigating.
Just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot the merc. I've been through this. It's not plausible.
Excuse me? What an odd thing to say, Titus. What do you mean you've been through this? With who? Who the fuck have you been through this with? Who else has been asking questions about this? Or maybe no one was asking questions of you about this. Maybe you were asking questions of you about this. You suspect her too, don't you, Titus? You just can't puzzle out how she could have done it. Huh. You're sharper than you look, Hardy. Aren't you?
All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof. You got his attention. Now don't ruin it by making weird claims. Remember, you can still mess this up.
Weird claims? Suggestion, does that really sound like me? A skilled Sambo artist could have climbed the outer wall, like a spider. No, let's not. You do agree that the shot came from the roof, right?
Why not? You can't draw a straight line into Clausia's window from any of the surrounding buildings. Not from what I know about Martinez.
Alright. Not any of the nearby buildings, anyway?
Maybe from the coast. But like I said, I've been too busy dealing with you idiots. So no, I don't think it was a sniper. It was close up.
Fair enough. There is a 72% chance that the bullet came from the roof.
72%. There's a percentage and all. Where'd you get it from? Your guys in the lab?
I am the lab.
Definitely lie. The truth is not credible.
Fair enough. Yes, we have a ballistics lab in Quran we consult in cases like these. And I am that ballistics lab.
Wouldn't hurt to have one of those in Martinez. Still,
You do.
all the labs in the world don't put her on that roof. How'd she get there? Climb?
There is a secret route in the kitchen that leads straight to the roof. As opposed to gay to the roof. Which actually would make sense considering our suspect, but never mind that.
How?
He looks sincerely curious. Through what looks like an abandoned pinball workshop.
People say there was a pinball arcade here. Sometime before the hostel. What was it called, Theo?
East Delta Pinball Arcade. Weird place. Went bankrupt.
No wonder. It's a rubbish name.
Weird? How? You're wearing the pinball maker's coat.
Don't see how that's particularly relevant, but alright. What do you mean weird, Theo?
Was run by a fella called Nerflock something, who wore a yellow dust coat like the one you have on right now. Weird guy. Never liked him.
Okay. His name sounds like a medication, but alright.
Okay, but how'd you get up? There's no room for a staircase in this building. Or an elevator, for that matter.
The elevator is on the outer wall of the building. It's an old dumbwaiter, used for moving pinball machines up and down from the workshop.
And how does she come into it?
Ruby could have gone up, shot him, come down, all under 7 minutes. 7 minutes, huh? Well, 7 is the number, I suppose.
That's quite the theory.
Quite
We
so.
need to have a look at that secret passage, boys.
Well, should be pretty easy. It's not really secret anymore, now that I've opened it up.
I'm on it, boss. Right when the law clears, me and Angus are going up there.
Have fun. Don't scuff the footsteps.
It's a dumbwaiter, not an industrial lift. How about I go instead of...
Shut up, Shanky.
Just now. You got
Yeah.
something else to back this route up? Or is that it?
Oh man, Titus, you shouldn't have interrupted. Shanky just set himself up perfectly for a dumbwaiter crack there. Ah, well. You can't let us have any fun, can you? There were pinball machines in the workshop. Still operational. Okay. Not entirely certain how that's relevant, but sure.
Right. What the fuck does that got to do with Ruby?
What if they're somehow connected to the murder? A pinball murderer. Nothing. I just thought we could bring some down. Get some new machines in here.
Wow, man, can we? I mean,
That'd be awesome. I beat that Royalist machine 20 times now.
All right, all right. We can get the barman to bring them down. What else?
He's like a put-upon parent on taking his kids on a road trip or something. Like, all right, we can stop at the burger joint, but after that, no more bugging me, or so help me, I will turn this car around. I also found footprints upstairs in the old workshop.
Footprints. Recent.
The tracks were recent, but not worn down in the right foot like Ruby's. It's best to omit this pesky little polemic for now. Too confusing.
Maybe. Although, then again, maybe honesty is the best policy here. Because it's not really a huge deal that the footprints don't match the shoes, because people will generally have multiple pairs of shoes. Indeed, if I was going to be committing a crime, I'd change my shoes before doing it, just so that, especially if I had distinctive footprints. And yeah, it doesn't exactly help my case, but it does make me seem more honest, because I am more honest, after all. So of course it would... Generally, actually being honest tends to make you seem more honest, unless it's an honest truth that sounds like you're lying, but never mind that. But volunteering details like this, not just cheap details like what Klage did, but actually somewhat costly ones, even if not particularly costly, does make it seem more like I'm someone who would, well, do that in general, volunteering all information even when it's not, even when it doesn't fit my narrative. And that makes my narratives seem more trustworthy, because they're less likely to think that I've held back important information. Especially considering they're planning on, going up there and checking it out themselves, and they would be able to tell that they don't match. That could theoretically come back to bite me. So yeah, I'm going to go against drama here. Sometimes honesty is the best policy.
Goes against your little theory, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit.
Then again, I've known few people in my life who own more than one pair of boots, and occasionally do change them.
Quite so.
Good news is, I'm still listening.
Alright. Hey. Guess what? Remember that key I found here? Point at the window.
I don't like guessing, Cope. No one does.
I mean, I'm sure some people do. It opens the kitchen door that leads to the roof. You didn't find it, but Ruby did. That's how she got up there.
Quit jumping to conclusions, Theo. You took that key. Did it look like it was recently put there?
What?
No, the ribbon was old, faded. It'd have been there for 20 years at least.
Okay. So?
Why? This doesn't make sense. It's damn interesting, but it doesn't fit well, and you know it.
What? I don't understand this objection. You're right that this doesn't make sense, but for very different reasons.
It doesn't fit well, but it fits, and he knows it.
Whatever. Have we firmly established Ruby could have had access to the roof where the man was shot?
Firmly doesn't go well with could've. There's a route to the roof. Me and the boys need to check it out. That's what we've established. But a route does not put that bullet in his head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one.
Well, yeah, I would imagine that if someone had an old Revolutionary era breech loader that's very illegal to have, she would not carry it around with him.
Phase 2. Murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. In the shape of a gun.
Oh, right. I haven't actually established that it was a breech loader that killed the person. Not for this person. Yeah. I have analyzed the bullet that killed him. It was jacketed.
So...
The man shrugs and looks at you.
So it had to come from a breech-loading rifle. Military grade. Not even you militia monkeys have those.
Indeed.
This goes against your short-range theory. If the murder weapon was military grade, how did Ruby get it?
I'm just being upfront with what I know.
Right. That's mighty forthcoming of you. So, let me extend you the same courtesy. She's connected to you know what.
Organized crime.
Oh.
Down in Jamrock, probably. He's not being too forthcoming. This is not a surprise.
No shit.
So she may have access to semi-automatics, but that's a long fucking stretch of the imagination.
Show them the antique rifle. There are weapons like this just lying around in Martinez.
That looks antique. A Belle McGrave. It's inoperable. Where'd you get it?
There's a cellar under the bookshop. It was hidden there, with others just like it.
Also inoperable?
Yes, but there were so many. 20, maybe 30 rifles.
God damn it. We need to close that dump down for good.
You could try, but who knows how many others there are just like it, hidden around. Caches used by the revolutionaries to get around the bans and to ensure that they're accessible from all over Revachol for the revolution.
That's a goddamn breech loader, too. Find one that works, and you got a military-grade weapon that shoots jacketed ammunition.
That you do.
He sees it. This is coming together. He must. Time to really close the deal. Show them the bullet.
This is the bullet that did it. 4.46 millimeter. The Belle McGrave uses the same caliber.
The blonde man looks at the mushroomed Deathbringer in the evidence bag and says,
Mushroomed Deathbringer. That's a good one.
Yeah, the bitch is jacketed all right. 4mm too.
Whoa.
Well, goddamn. It's not proof, but it's a possible murder weapon. Close to her. Too damn close.
Quite so. I'm almost starting to convince myself, even.
You have been thorough. I'll give you that.
I didn't say I'd prove that she had the murder weapon, just that we need to find her.
All right. Keep talking. I'm getting a bit curious about some things myself.
I'm guessing you were a bit curious long before I showed up, weren't you? Nothing goes over your head. Your reflexes are too fast. You would catch it.
T, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
Phase 3. Motive. The last component. The big one. Get this and they'll give her to you. Remember, don't piss him off. That never works.
Let's see. It's not why did she kill him, it's why did she organize the cover-up? Ah. Yes, I see where you're going with this. She had the whole plan ready to cover it up because she did it. Let's go with that tack first. That seems like a good point of an attack to start with.
And I suppose you have a theory on that.
She could have just been covering up for herself, Titus.
Like fuck she was.
It was her idea, right? The hanging?
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right when she came back downstairs.
Yeah. Of course, she could just be a quick thinker. Or just have thought about what she would do if she did kill someone. Some people do that. But there is also another hypothesis, Mr. Hardy, and it fits the data in a much less complicated way.
Really, Shanks? Claudia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Alright, Shanky, let's assume you killed him.
I didn't do it, fucker. It wasn't my plan.
You probably did, though.
Would you prefer to go on trial with your buddies, as part of a lynch mob, or alone for committing murder?
Fuck you, man. I would never fuck my guys over like that.
He squeaks with indignation.
She didn't either. She would never do that. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she skipped town. This is good.
Ha! Yeah, I figured as much, Titus. And she skipped town as well. Just got the fuck out of Dodge right after. Well, fancy that. Before I arrested Claude, she told me some pretty interesting things about Ruby.
Yeah, like what?
Apparently she had a thing for Claude.
A thing? You mean?
He tilts his head to the side and falls silent.
Yeah, but they're both girls.
It's supernatural, a reality-breaking event, and we just need to accept it. Okay then. Come on, guys. She hangs out with you meatheads. This cannot come as a surprise. Well, there's some logic to that. After all, if she wanted to get with a guy, she'd probably want someone good-looking with a good personality. So obviously she wouldn't be looking here of all places.
Yeah? No. Ruby's got more balls than a ball pit. You'd have to be an idiot not to... Guys, I'm not the only one who knew. Right?
Knew what? First he says she's murdered him. Now she's a too? It's a lie.
Ah, aren't you pleasant, eh, Glenn?
Come on, Glenn. She likes Monica's titties more than you do. Everyone knows which way the wind blows there.
I did. I knew it. That's why she didn't fuck me at Fatty's birthday party.
Right, that's why.
She didn't fuck you, 'cause you're 40, and you still live with your mom, Dennis.
Light laughter sounds off in the room. It feels nervous. Claude said she made advances on her, and she thwarted them. She also threatened to end her relationship with the deceased.
This is some sordid shit. It's also the kind of garbage our Miss Aronier puts out to cover her own ass.
True enough. She did tell us right before we arrested her.
Figures. But that Ruby is queer as cabaret, now that I start thinking about it. So there is some truth to it. And that's okay. Some are queerer than others. You can still be a Hardy. But if you bring your own personal shit into our outfit...
Fair enough.
And then, boss, use us to cover it up? I mean, that's just fucked up.
Quite so, Shanky. Quite so.
If it's true. But it's not, right?
When Claude came downstairs, Ruby appeared to know that something was wrong.
Nah, man. That's just Ruby. She's got shit under control. That's her whole thing. That's why she's so good.
Plus, man, it's like female intuition. You know, women talk to women. Which is sort of why we need someone on the team who they talk to.
Female intuition. Right. Sure, that explains everything. Or she knew what happened because she killed him. I mean, it's also possible that she knew what happened because she was peeking through the peephole, because she's a weirdo who likes to watch her have sex with him. But that seems like an odd coincidence.
Not so useful.
Titus looks at Elaine, then Eugene.
Fucking hell.
The blonde man is in some kind of anguish that makes him stare into his garlic Red Bull intently. I'm sure we all know what that feels like. Titus, you have to see it. Things don't add up. I need to talk to her.
Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods. A very small nod. And a trickle of tobacco spit on his lip.
Yeah, I see it. There's one more thing I've been wondering about. Ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you won't.
I'll be much obliged to, Hardy.
I don't know. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However hard I asked. Want to know why?
Ah, fuck. Of course it couldn't be that simple. Why?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
Is that right? You think she knew I'd find evidence against her?
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
When did she leave? Was it like right after all this happened, or?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived.
Ah.
I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
Is that right? Wait, so you got word that the RCM was in town, and then right after you got that word, she came to see you? Which implies that she knew before you knew. Did I encounter her? Did I already investigate her? I don't know. What was she scared of?
I told you. You.
Me personally?
Yes, you. The cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
Interesting.
And a hole in his heart. That first.
Ha. And the hole in his heart.
Why not? You look about ready to do something pretty crazy because some bird fucked you over.
Don't forget the funny tie, too.
How can I forget?
He nods at your tie.
You and I are going to dance in the moonlight under 1 billion stars.
You said it, HN.
You know, when I first saw you limping here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
Damn straight. Now that is interesting. She wasn't fleeing the law in general, she was fleeing me. I'm thinking I might have been onto something there ages ago when I put forth the idea that maybe I'd already solved this case by the time I sentenced myself to oblivion, so to speak. Well, goddamn. What else did Ruby tell you about me?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
Won't stop?
Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener, that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans.
Human can opener, huh? Yeah, that sounds like me, alright.
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just...
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did. Now, we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having a go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
I like the sound of that.
Silence. He nods.
Anything else? Anything?
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This caught Titus. This caught Pete. But she was too scared.
Is that right? Do you have any clues on where Ruby went?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry, so she's on foot.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
You underestimate me at your peril, Elaine. Fuck with the Sunboy, get burnt.
Yeah, Al, and we won't either.
She's not really a hardy candidate anymore, is she?
She's not, Glenn.
Have you looked for her?
A little. On the coast.
Where have you looked for her?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlog. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
Alright. Can you tell me where on the coast I should start looking?
Sure, there's some shit houses there. A cinderblock town. The fisherfolk there refuse to unionize. So, that's one place we haven't looked.
Sounds like a nice town.
I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up.
Ha! You calling me a junkie? Not entirely unfair. I'll start there. One more question. What does Ruby look like?
Boyish. Hair's red. Dyed. She looks like a lorry man.
It's not much, but it'll do. Go! Much obliged, Mr. Hardy.
It'll have to.
That it will. He puts his hand out. Yeah. Let's shake on it. Why not?
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. Not just granite, tightly packed RCM Sergeant material.
Well, don't put too much stock into handshakes. You should be a cop, Titus. You know what? Maybe he should be. I've certainly dealt with worse in the police force. Up to and exceeding sergeant rank. Forget the police force, this department alone. At the very least, he'd do more good there than he is here. Not that that's a high bar. Yeah, you should be a cop, Titus.
When are you gonna get it through your dumb head? I already am. I just wasn't sure you were.
Keep telling yourself that, Titus.
And he still isn't. People aren't afraid of good cops in the way Ruby was afraid of you, he thinks, then turns back to his men.
Yeah. Okay. That's that then. That went longer than I expected. Alright then, so we've kind of got another lead. We'll just have to go to the coast and... Wait. No, wait, the water lock is stopping us, isn't it? Shit, when was that going to... Is that going to open tomorrow or the day after? I forget. Okay, either way, we can't really do that right now. So... Yeah. I guess our investigation is a bit stalled for now. So next time, guess we'll just be running around doing whatever. That was a... I still think this is a band of absolute fucking bozos. But if nothing else, they're significantly less obnoxious to deal with now that that's over. We've been going through the runaround all for so long. Now, well, or rather soon, we can actually start doing some actual fucking detective work, whatever. I mean, it's good to be past all of that, and it's good to be back. But without any further ado, and there has been quite a lot, I have been Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And remember, dislike the video, unsubscribe if you're for some reason subscribed, and leave a nasty comment in the comment section down below. Fuck you all so much for watching, and so long, suckers.
You're gonna be okay, kid.